I want to see the babies. Is it pretty clean? Are we in?
Are we in?
Oh, perfect. Just the baby though. I want to bring them so these are fun.
Yeah, sure.
Ta-da. All right, cool. I think we're live. We've got somebody there. Hello there, YouTube.
Hello.
Just bringing up the Instagram live stream or whatever.
Just gonna get some
tea brewing.
Tea going.
We're a little bit late. We're not too late, but we're a touch late because I lost track of time. Why? Because I was studying. I got to admit I'm a little nervous here.
They don't know what's going on yet. Huh?
Oh, they don't know. Okay. Well, you'll be nervous for me too, but I'm gonna get your help, so don't you worry. Hey, David Kimler, welcome. Hey guys, I really enjoyed the Zoom live. I'm a bit introverted, but we'll begin to participate. Yeah, no worries, David. It was really great to have you there. Feel free to come and sit in.
Yeah.
There's no pressure.
Absolutely.
Being there and listening is just as great as participating. And we were happy to see you there. So thank you for coming out.
And thank you for joining us for today's live.
Yes.
We're just gonna Instagram.
Did
you guys notice this shirt?
We're matchy today.
We're trying to make this.
It's an Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol shirt. Whoa, that was a deep spinal twist right there.
We're trying to make this friendly because the theme today is not very friendly.
You are now. I always get confused when that happens. At first, I saw my face super big. Then I realized.
Igor. Hello, Igor.
Oh, Igor. Hey, welcome back, buddy. I'm really excited about the project. Igor is on the music right? Yeah, Igor. Yeah, yes. Igor's on the music project. Keyboard, right? I sent out a little email again today about that. I'm pretty stoked about that. And
he got all the lyrics out.
And thanks also, Igor. You were also on yesterday, I believe, right? So thanks for joining us. Yeah, I got the lyrics done. I haven't tracked them down yet. It's a really tough one. F sharp minor, pretty high up there.
Trekking Buddha, hello.
Trekking
welcome
Buddha.
On Instagram.
Haida Stock, hello. Welcome on Instagram. Anybody else we missed? I don't think so. No, that's the first ones.
Okay.
Joseph Burton, hello there to you. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah, it was we were just chatting about the Zoom. It was great to meet you guys yesterday. So maybe we can start and introduce what we're doing.
Talking about this. Okay.
Yeah, and why would I be nervous?
Today, the theme is actually like a game-ish test for Phil.
Yeah, we're going to gamify it to make it fun.
So what triggered that is a couple of days I saw somebody posting an aged Liu Baocha 80 from the 80s, and I was like, because he posted the dry leaves. So just by looking at the dry leaf, I know it's not. At least it's not definitely not Liu Bao. And so with that context, it means it's definitely not age because it doesn't worth the effort to fake not Liu Bao into Liu Bao. It's the age that kind of worth faking. And nowadays, the whole trend for HT and antique teas. So and we had
that turned into a quiz for me.
Yes. We often have this random. I often have this random quiz for Phil.
Yeah, it's called training, but this was a little discreet quiz, which is how do I know?
Yes.
How tell me why I know. That was what she asked me. Why do I know right away?
Right. So
go ahead.
So then when we're doing that, we're like, that's actually some good information, and some people might want to know those things as more people are. More getting experienced with tea and wanted to explore the HT area. So that's why we're thinking about a live session like this, but we will be focusing on Pu'er tea today. So the form today will be, I went online, search up some, antique aged teas, and
she did actual preparation, pretty tricky and thorough. She was there for a while.
So I listed 7 just by the tea name. You can know they're not real for real.
So that's a pretty good hint that we have starting out. So she's gonna give me.
I'm gonna get some tea going while
let's rock and roll. Yeah. So She's going to give me a name, a tea name that she found, and it's nice to pare it down. So I don't normally you got to look at leaf pictures and liquor pictures, and you got to take in all that data. Ideally, you also want to taste it. I mean, that's the ultimate. So, but today we're going to narrow it down to something about the name is giving you is the big hint. So it's in the name, the little N. Well, I guess you can't tell me, but as far as I know, some of these the name is a clear giveaway that it's not an authentic aged, but some of them may be. So I also did a little crash study for 5 minutes before this test, and where I studied, because it's consolidated it's a little nice encapsulated in one place, was in Chaoren magazine.
I kind of planned it there because a lot of people ask me like, how is my HT experience or something here? Do you have any recommendations for stores and stuff?
Or they'll even bring you something and say, hey, what's the deal with this?
So my answer is you probably don't want to hear my answer. You might be heartbroken. And the good news, there's still good news. The good news is most of the faking, at least now in the West, is very elementary school faking. Right. They didn't even try. They really basically take advantage of people's limited knowledge on tea. I'm telling you, this cell phone is from Victoria's time.
Yeah,
right?
A Victorian era cell phone.
Right.
So it's an easy bust, right? They didn't have cell phones in the Victorian era. I got to say hello to a few Instagrammers who just joined. My Aunt Carol joined. Hello, Carol. Welcome. We're doing an age tea session, so I'm getting quizzed. And also Tea Sleuth. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. Been a while. Right. And that's it. I wanted to say hi because I saw her. Cole Weeb, welcome on YouTube side, joining us. 20 plus year Pu'er. Awesome. Yes, generally, hopefully. If it's stored well, awesome. So that's the quiz outline, right? I think we covered the quiz outline. We are brewing aged Taeguanyin. We picked an HT because we're talking about aged tea. And we had a pile of Shen and Pu'er last night. So I kind of wanted to stay on the age theme, but move to a different brew. And I'm glad Tea Sleuth says on Instagram that he's been busy and he's glad he caught us all. Caught y'all. I love that word. So I'm glad you caught us all as well. And I'm glad you're here. So we're brewing up an aged Taeguanyin. Vintage, unknown, 2014. I was going to say 16, 14. And David Dietz, welcome. I missed the Teapot show and tell. Hopefully you guys do it again. Yes, we will do another. We're going to do more Zooms. We had a great time. So thanks to everybody who came out for that. A few of you are on right now. A bunch of you actually. And we're thinking of doing another one. So stay tuned. One to show off your tea cakes, or just show off your teas. Who knows what else? We might do the spelling bee on Zoom too. We want to do a tea spelling bee because that'll be so ridiculously fun. Rinse or brew? Brew. Yay, I'm thirsty because again, I'm talking nonstop. Okay, so we've got a big list of teas to go through. So again, it's she's going to quiz me with a tea name, like the full title of the tea as it was presented, and I am going to try and figure out if it's
two answers. So we're looking for two fake or
need to taste.
Need further
information, right? Because ideally, it's sometimes it's tricky to say for sure that's real from just the nose. Taste is the bottom line, right? So
because it's a 50-50, I want to hear the reason why he come up with that conclusion.
Yeah, she's one of those profs. Right? A T or an F will not do. You've got to justify your answer.
So before we did this, he was just sitting on the couch and reviewed the Chaoren magazine. The last session that is about Pu'er, right? That was some Pu'er history. I know a lot of people are not into history or stuff, but if you're really into Asia Pu'er or stuff, those history. Really windy outside. Sorry, those history things would really help you differentiate that. And before we get started into the whole thing, I want to just quickly mention two things. One is, please don't ask me which store I found those titles and stuff. I don't want to make that like, oh, this is a bad store or this vendor, because we don't know how they source it. Some vendors, especially like in the West, a lot of them genuinely believe what they're selling is real. They actually get tricked and don't know. So I don't want to get into those. So it's just for knowledge, like, information sharing purpose to using the titles. Second is second is what we think in terms of this fake and real thing. What's fake means it's not that year. It might be a new tea. They said it's an old tea, or it's not that material like an ancient tree or gushu or something, and they mark that as a gushu. So those kinds of conflict between what this tea is vis-a-vis the title, that's what we call that as a fake. Just want to clear that. And for us, our stand is not like you cannot buy those trees. You cannot buy those tea. It's not like that. It's your tea, right? It's your money. You make the decision.
And if it's might be a decent price. Like if it's a too good to be true price, but it still tastes pretty good, who cares, right?
Yes. Just at some point, though, expecting that to be. You taste that and how 20 years old
that's where
tea tastes like. It's quite different. So again, if the money, the price you're okay with, if you really like that taste, totally go ahead and buy those, drink those. It's just a tea. So I just want to clarify
I think the overarching thing is this is to share information, her brain with you guys, right? And but not to kind of not to tell you how you should buy, but just to give you more information so your toolbox is richer. That's about it. So I saw a few more questions just before we dive in. We do have plenty of quizzing for me to do, but I'm nervous, so I'm going to stall. Hida Stock said, "Can anybody join the Zoom sessions?" Great question. Yes, anybody can join. We usually theme them. So if you don't have the perfect fit into the theme, for example, for the teapot one, if you don't have teapots, you can join anyway. Show us your gaiwan, show us your teapot. You don't have to show us anything. You can sit on the side and just listen. It's all good. Don't feel any pressure to need to turn on your camera or need to participate, but we would love if you could participate and anybody can join. Great question. Hey, Cha Holiday. Hello, welcome. So we're doing, I think we just kind of explained what we're doing. But just in a nutshell, she's going to give me tea names, and from the name has enough information for me to decide, is it fake as she just defined, or do I need more information, i.e. probably taste. I prefer to just say fake or need to taste because it sounds fun. Make me want to taste the tea.
Okay.
I admit I like how, and H. Holiday says, I admit I like how white to tea does not list much info for Pu'er. Only issue is trying to find similar teas. Right, you just throw it out there. That's kind of cool. And a couple more, we're just going to round off the comments, and then I'm going to be, and again, I'm not super awesome at this, so I'm going to be leaning on you guys. You can pitch in, throw in questions, help me out if you have an opinion, but I will talk through my answer because true or false isn't going to work for her. I'm going to justify. So Joseph is actually drinking Taeguanyin Classic, so cheers. We got the aged Taeguanyin Classic here, so we're of kindred spirits right now.
Yeah.
Well, we always are, but especially joined by the tea. And Cole Weeb on YouTube says, I haven't had a well-aged oolong, but have considered buying some. Has anyone tried the aged oolongs that are stored for over 20 years in a ceramic caddy? Yo. I had you until you came out with ceramic caddy.
That's almost a no, because nobody would store that in ceramic caddy for 20 years. 20 years ago, nobody is aging tea properly. Okay, that's the tone of today's.
That's a good hint, right? So that's a great one. So if you see
I hope you don't find one, because that's a sound.
I have oolongs from 2005 and 2000. Yeah, and we've got a great Aijao, 2002.
Right.
So that's a really
2002 Aijao is really good because it is. Besides it's well-aged, it was never re-roasted. That's very important. To a lot of people, it's okay. As if aged oolong needs re-roasting every couple of years. That's not true. the really like a pinnacle process doesn't need re-roast, and that one was the like perfect demonstration for that. Anyway, let's get started to today's game.
Cool. Yeah, let's get started.
I kind of a gradient that in my own rating. Okay. So
Cool.
the first one.
Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. I'm not nervous. Hang on,
Okay.
hang on a second.
Mm.
Okay.
So today's session is all about Pu'er. So
yeah, Pu'er.
The first one is, this is the title, 1968 Cultural Revolution, 文革. In Chinese pinyin, we say 文革, shoe break.
Oh, that's pretty easy. Okay, I'm really glad I studied because I tightened up my dates. So I'm going to repeat it, make sure I got it right. It's a 60, I can look, you don't have any answers yet, right?
Yeah.
So it's a 68 Cultural Revolution, I want to say it, 文革, brick. So
shoe break.
Yeah, shoe is the key word here too. I cannot leave out shoe brick because there's, so what I, does anybody want to jump in why this one's an easy one? Yes, you're right. It's not real, 100% for sure. And why? Anybody know? So I remember the date when Pu'er came on the scene. So that's a big hint. It was after 1968. So that is a definite giveaway. So yeah, 73 was the date. Yes, T-Sleuth, too early. That's right. And then Joseph Burton on YouTube also got it. Pu'er didn't exist in 68. That's right. So 73 was the date that Pu'er entered the scene. So easy bust. Yeah. I hope my aunt heard me say hello. Anyway, next question.
Okay, next one. Oh, this is too easy. But don't worry.
No shit, I know. It's always like that.
Start with the easy ones and something.
We're warming up, folks. We're warming up.
Something you might be familiar. So this is a Pu'er cake from 1910, 375 gram Pu'er cake from 1910. It made on the news couple of years ago.
A 357 gram cake from 1910.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for help now because nothing. Pu'er cake. Okay. The date is oddly specific for that vintage. That's like Songping era. What else? Where is it? Point to it on the list here. 357 1910 Pu'er. That's it?
Yes.
375 gram?
Yes.
That's weird. Yeah, she did say 375. I transposed to 357 because that's the more normal size. And oh, good Lord. Did you guys use grams in 1910?
I think it's like a transcribed.
Everybody's gravitating to that 375. I am too, because it's an odd number. It's usually 357 grams. So I think we got it, guys. I think you guys nailed it. I actually inverted them in my mind. I thought, you misspoke. Then I look over and I saw 375 and that jumped out at me. So I think we got it. Anything on YouTube here?
YouTube?
Shoe didn't exist. I have some 75 Pu'er. Oh, that's nice. David, are you okay? Then there's a little chit chat. I'm just joining now. Hey, Brandon, welcome here. We're just doing a little contest. So we're on question 3. So we got it, I think, guys. Did we get it? We said
you totally got it.
Yeah, we said that's a bust. That's a bust. I'll buy it for $20.
You can Google it. It was on the news. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
So that, again, the good news here is in the West, it's generally you don't need to be a history expert. Once you have a little background, like know the date of Pu'er, the rough idea when the mountains came on the scene and stuff, which is what I was reviewing like a madman a few minutes ago. Yes. All right, let's do this. We're 2 for 2, guys. We're rocking this.
Just want to summarize a bit 2 elements on this title that is fishy. 375 grand. It's actually supposed to be 357 grand, as most of you already figured out. Mm-hmm. And the 1910, it's just impossible to pinpoint. That's 1910.
Right. I kind of so that's a good one too. Yeah, old, really, really old teas like that. The vintage will be unknown. Nobody cared at all. They didn't stand.
You might have a rough estimation, but in 1910, no. Okay, number 3 is here. Okay. So it's a 老班章明前 raw Pu'er tea. So Lao Banzhang is a village. Banzhang is that really famous village. Lao Banzhang, so location. Mingqian means pre-Qingming, which is a timing thing. Means it's plucked.
Early pluck.
Yeah, early pluck before April the 4th or the 5th. Raw pu'er tea means shen pu'er. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily, this is coming, so what they're trying to convey to me here, again, I'm not analyzing it yet, but it's just, there's no vintage on it. So they're not necessarily telling me that it's aged or a gushu or anything like that. The Lao Banzhang refers to the old village, not the old tree. So it's the original Banzhang village. Early pluck raw pu'er tea. So yeah, so Heicha Holiday shouts out, is that too early for pu'er? I was kind of going that, but April and Yunnan is warm. They do start plucking quite early. So I've never heard of a Mingqian being a thing with pu'er. So that makes my ears a little bit burn. And there's no date. So that's pretty much all I have to go off there, is that it's a Mingqian pu'er, which smells fishy. What's going on? You got a good comment?
Daniel D said, do you have a cheat sheet for these tricks?
Yes.
Yes.
So maybe you got on a bit late, but if you go to around the, if you check out the 2019 Chow Ren, it's there's a pu'er, it's a 2-page spread kind of info bullets, which has a history, but the history there is all of these hints. And that's why we put it there. You'll see that it's written. So check out Chow Ren. So that it's literally a cheat sheet for this. And that is exactly what I studied before I jumped on. So, and Heicha Holiday says Lao Banzhang is usually fishy. So that is also in a good.
We got some pro here.
Good pu'er play on words right there.
So
the answer is a Mingqian pu'er is not a thing. So it's fake. Okay.
Okay. Now official answer. Not official
fully
answer.
rounded. So we got
I
part
just
marks.
want to kind of run up a little bit thing here. First, Mingqian is a concept for green tea. It's kind of expanding as the meaning of when it's plucked, but in Pu'er language, we don't use Mingqian. That's just like somebody is buying a good diamond, says, this is a crystal clear diamond. You know, like those cheesy things that almost like, it doesn't fit. You might have better examples.
I'm trying to think of it, right?
Right. So Mingqian is not a term. Sometimes you might see Mingqian Wulong also like.
Oh, it's like buying a laptop and they tell you this laptop no, that's not a good one either. Forget it. It's just like it's just wrong. It doesn't quite fit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just not pro. And like Heicha Holiday mentioned, Lao Banzhang is usually fishy. Is because now it's becoming a brand. No, not a brand. How should I say it? Like a Nutella. That's actually a good way to think like that, right? Nutella used to be not used to be, still is the brand. But because it's so popular, so famous now, like how we homemade the
hazelnut spread,
I still call that Nutella. Like.
Right.
It really doesn't mean I'm having that brand. So that's that's the thing with this Banzhang whole thing. So that's it for number 3. You guys are doing really well, right on point. Okay, number 4. I also got a bonus one. If you guys are too good, I have one super hard one.
Yes, tissues versus Kleenex is another great example of how a brand can be so successful that people start to just call all the brands Kleenex.
Yes.
Pass me a Kleenex when actually it's a tissue.
Yes, like you can go everywhere, everybody label Lao Banzhang. It doesn't mean anything.
Skidoo.
I
don't know if the guys down south will know what a skidoo is, but
right.
My Canadian boys know.
Okay, this one. Number 4 is 1970s vintage wild gushu, means ancient tree, loose leaf pu'er.
Okay, good. So it's 1970s vintage wild gushu loose leaf pu'er. So I have some thoughts on this right away. So gushu, old tree, ancient tree. This this concept, again, I reviewed the cheat sheet, so I'm really glad I did this. Otherwise, I would be so embarrassed. But the concept of gushu started to get really popular, I believe, around 2010s, 2000s. I might be wrong. Anyway, it certainly wasn't 70s. So that's problematic. I'm not sure about the loose leaf idea too, because that sticks out in my mind too. But I think that's always possible. From what I've seen, tea is a little bit this, a little bit that. There's no strict way to package it. Loose, brick, Bing. Like I don't think that's a good way to assess the authenticity of a given tea, or at least not this particular tea. So let's see what else out there. Tissue. It's possible, but I'd have to check if the name was new or on the wrapper. Okay. Yeah, tea sleuth is fun.
I was
right?
thinking that just the
Right?
same thing. This is actually pretty fun.
I'm having tons of fun, although I'm feeling the heat. I'm a little bit hot, a little bit sweaty and nervous, but I'm doing all right, I think, thanks to your help. I would say that people didn't much care about gushu back then. I'm on the same page, Cole. I'm pretty sure that was a 2010s, if not 2000s concept. It definitely wasn't a 70s concept. So let's final answer this one with it's fake. In the 70s, nobody cared about gushu, and nobody actually even cared about wild back then. And in fact, 70s was pre-Pu'er. I'm trying to remember, that was state tea. So I think wild would be right out of the question. State tea is looking for efficiency and not these ridiculous go into the bush and pluck a low yield. I think this is total. Those two things are my answer. Wild is actually just wrong. It can't be done in the 70s, and gushu, nobody cared. Final answer.
You guys have it. That's right.
Way to go, guys!
Yeah.
Okay, the harder ones are coming though. I mean, I should be getting more calm, but I'm getting more nervous.
Cole was definitely right that back then nobody cared about gushu. That's for sure. Which means it won't be labeled like that. If the previous didn't label like that, how do I suddenly know it's a gushu, right? For those people. Another one that Phil didn't mention the time right is when that trend of gushu, like ancient tree, is in late 1990s. It started to have some pioneers and trying to...
late 90s. Okay, I was a couple decades off.
Yes. Wild, definitely not a thing. What I'm saying is not like, oh, this tea doesn't have any wild or any gushu. It's not like that. It's just, it cannot be pure.
I'm going to turn off my notifications, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
Because that was a loud bong. There we go.
Nice. Because Phil mentioned that around that time is still state make Pu'er. State make Pu'er, like the government kind of make. There's a pretty central control in terms of how to do this. Nobody cared to do like a pure batch of those materials. It's all those recipes, combinations and stuff. It's all mixed in. So
different set of trends back then.
That's right. It's all about taste at that time. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Rocking it here. So that's what, 4 or 5?
4. You got 4 all right, all correct, and it seems pretty simple for you guys. Next.
Cramming helps. That was the big dispute in university and high school. Does cramming work? And one of my friends was a veritable genius, and he was studying in the lineup. And I said, Michael, why are you cramming? We're going in 2 minutes. And he's like, I checked the actual studies. It's known that cramming works. and he did. He was that kind of guy. I just love nerds like that. So I opened my notebook and started cramming too.
Oh, we got somebody new on YouTube joining us. Youzi. Is that Youzi? Youzi, Teapot and Tea. Hello. Welcome.
I think I don't want to be rude, but that might be Chinese for Yoda. Youzi.
No.
Oh, darn.
I thought it was a pomelo.
Oh,
I'm not sure. It could be other pronunciation.
Anyway, it's still a really cool name. That's all. Cramming doesn't help in the long term. Yes, agree.
That's why after all these years, he still need that. Burn. Okay, next one. Next one. Where? 4, 5. Okay, 5 here. This is a 1970s. 红太昌义武古树生普洱. So 1990s time. 红太昌, it means a brand kind of thing.
70s, right? You have
90s, 1970s is the time. 红太昌 is the brand or factory, or is the name of the make. And Yiwu is where that mountain
Region.
is. 古树 is ancient tree. And Shenpu'er, raw pu'er.
Okay, so let's take a different tack this time because it's a little bit similar. So what's okay in the name so far? So 70s, Shenpu'er, that's okay. Shenpu'er and 70s, they go together. Those things happened at the same time. That's about where this stops though. No, I'm serious.
Good one, good one.
70s Shenpu'er are the only things that make sense in this name. Yiwu, unknown village in the 1970s. Nobody cares. Those villages came online again, like late 90s, 2000. That's a village or mountain? That's a mountain. Mountains came online around 2000, villages 2010s, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, not 70s. Okay, so Yiwu out. Again, we already did a 70s Gushu, so that's one doesn't need to be restated. So Gushu.
Do you like my gradient?
Yes, I love the gradient. And the final nail in the coffin is, as we said, we kind of alluded to this in the previous tea, but this one is called out specifically. Homtaichang is not the state factory and therefore didn't exist in the 70s. So there's 3 big red flags in that title. The only thing that's not a red flag is Shen Pu'er 1970, which it could be, but the rest is no. Doesn't Homtaichang work with border tea? I don't know what you mean, but maybe you know what border tea is. I don't know what border tea is. So
like exporting tea? Do you mean by exporting tea? I'm not sure.
Border tea. I don't know if that's tea that is close to the Chinese border or so. If you let us know what border tea is, we'll try and answer. I'll say hi to a few people. Laura Possombam, sorry, butchered your last name or that part of your handle. So welcome. At any rate, you're still welcome. Maybe just Laura will work, hopefully. And like close to the border, maybe not inside. I don't know. It's a factory name, right? Or
the make of it.
So it's a brand.
It's like
technically, it's a brand. So I don't know if it's been adapted to mean that, but that sounds like some sort of twisty stuff that it's a brand fundamentally. So Homtaichang, and you wrote she wrote Homtaicha. So this is the brand is Homtaichang.
CHANG.
So it's not a tea type. So maybe that's where the confusion entered in. Okay, so there we go. That's the final answer.
Oh, that's 100% right. Maybe some type or. Oh no, this one is the kind of the make, the brand on that.
But that's a good point. You do see Pu'er now coming out of, and whether or not we call it Pu'er, like I don't want to talk about that in this video. But yeah, Laos, Thai. There's a few of those regions that are, they have trees, and we actually tasted some pretty cool material from Laos.
Yes, so, absolutely.
Yeah, you can get those Pu'er from other places.
So that was great. Why I put this one in is a lot of times you will see those brand name or those make. They say, oh, they're old Pu'er make pre, in the 1900 and stuff. It's just not possible. 50s, 60s. I see a lot of on the web that says, oh, those are the make or stuff. But that time is all government, central government control, the Chinese economy, controlling economy, supply, how much you need, that's how much we produce, that economy. There's a special name for that, sorry, I don't remember. But there's no other like individual little brands. And the chances if you find some 1940s where stuff, also no, because the war really really almost like destroy the whole tea industry almost all over China. It's not just like which section. So the chances of seeing that and a lot of price, despite it's high or low, is just not likely. If there's anything like that, that's going to be on auction. It's not going to directly sell that.
Right, the 40s one.
The treasure level of it, because like war zone, imagine who is producing tea. People are afraid of lives.
Right.
So and those brand, almost all of those not ancient brand, old brand, like early 1900 brand, almost all died during those times.
Right.
Anyways,
next one
is this one. Okay. Next one is
I just want to say, like, Heisha Holiday said something really funny.
What?
Which is, I just assume, so on Instagram, Heisha Holiday says, I just assume real old tea that I can't afford is fake. And not a bad barometer. Oh, that's a good one.
It's actually interesting. It's yes, and at some point, people's measurement of expensive tea is different. Some people think $20 or $40 tea, like for 50 gram, is already very outrageous. So some people think they're spending $40 on just 50 grams of tea. They already feel like that's pricey. It might be real. Or it must be real. So it's different. But another thing I just want to point out is how rare those 90s, 80s, or even before they are. The chances that we just found that online and could buy that is really, really rare. Because what the whole trend of aging teas and stuff in China started in late 90s and like 30 years ago. And that's a big population consuming, buying all those teas. Like if any tea from the 70s, it's just get less and less. We have some, do we put a lot out on the website to sell? No, because those things, the more we sell, the less we have. It's not reproducible.
That's right. Yeah, non-renewable resource. But you know what I just thought of when you said that was I just imagined somebody in their tea closet in 1975 and throwing out a bunch of old tea because it's just old and they need some space.
Yeah, old times it was like that.
Or drink it, right? But
So. Early times when in early 1900s when the people finally get the first, like commoners first get into the Qin, the Forbidden City, they had a huge room. By room, it's not a room, probably. It was a house of tea storage and tons of old teas. Like they just stored there because those tribute teas was not fully consumed. And they taste it. At that time, nobody knows about age and stuff. They throw out tons of like precious teas, right? So
right.
It definitely happens. Anyway.
Don't think about it too much. Scary.
Next one. Let's do next one. This is a 1980s Royal Palace grade Pu'er, Guangxi. Guangxi is another province. It's not Yunnan province. It's Guangxi province. Don't ask me why it's there. I don't know. I just copied that. So it might mean the tea is from Guangxi province. Like, I don't know, but just ignore that part.
Palace grade Pu'er.
Yes, from 1980s.
Okay, I want to start this one with a question because we have a palace grade loose Pu'er, and it's made with it's more delicate material. It's spud material, right? So does that what that means, or does this just mean high grade? Okay, so it has a notion of buds. Okay. Because
I also read the description. It was mentioning the one bud, two leaf plucking with the buds and blah blah.
Okay. So there's a plucking standard involved.
That,
80s. Okay, so 80s, and it just says Pu'er, huh?
Yeah.
Looking for help. See if anybody's commenting. So we're working on 1980s Royal Palace grade Pu'er, Guangxi. which is a province that is not Yunnan. So right now, that's what I'm kind of gravitating towards, because that is weird. I wish I had my map. I wish I had have crammed a bit of my geography in to know. It's a bordering Yunnan province, I assume? Yeah.
Close, and where the 六宝茶 comes from.
Okay. Tea Sleuth. I love the name. The name is perfect for this game, Tea Sleuth. Wait just a minute. Are you two wearing matching shirts? What did they say? Okay. Darn, I thought you were going to help me out there. But anyway, let's show off our t-shirts for a minute. Because we both have, yes, we have matching shirts that she just got for us. And they're I guess they're pop art.
Take a break for him.
They're pop art. Spinal twist for me. Pop art from Andy Warhol. We won't make her say that. Guanxi is weird if it's on the wrapper, but if it's just on the listing, could be okay. I think it's weird. I think that's weird. Palace grade, 80s Palace grade. Ours is 2002. We have a 2002 Pu'er that's Palace grade. So I don't know if Palace grade is part of this equation, because tribute teas and Palace grade, well, this just means buds.
Palace grade, yeah, it's
just means
the
buds. It doesn't mean
newer
tribute.
concept that just means it's bud.
Okay.
AKA newer concept. So in the 80s, they didn't really like, oh, those are buds, those are better. This trend is a later trend. It is that Palace grade.
Oh, that is the thing.
Gongting.
Gongting.
Ting. Ting. Gong space TING.
So Palace grade with Pu'er. Is that what we were talking about here? The notion of Palace grade Pu'er, meaning made with certain material Pu'er, didn't come
usually
in.
Means with buds or more higher composition of buds.
Okay, so that didn't come into what, the 90s?
Yeah, late 90s.
Late
stuff.
90s.
It's pretty like later on trendy.
Okay. So that was
buds is a green tea thing.
Again.
It's a major green tea pursues buds.
Of course.
Right? Till later, then black tea started after Jinjumei.
Right. Stuff. Okay. So, but that for us, like I would say that I missed this one, but that was the key, right? What about Guanxi? Are you still just like, what? That's just weird. It's
just weird. I found that's weird because I also when I read the description, there's nowhere else mentioned anything about Guanxi. The origin it says is Yunnan province. So I don't know. It could be some other tone that doesn't mean the province. So I'm not sure. But for me, but he put that there. I just put that there. Maybe you guys know more like Pu'er language. I don't know what they say. But the Palace grade in the 80s. Yeah.
So there was a little chat about and there was a little chat about what was I going to say? A little bit of chat about when we were talking about tea prices and stuff. So
right.
That was funny. A little bit on Instagram.
Tea Sleuth said $80 for 25 gram of Dantong.
And Hecha Holiday response sounds pretty fine for Yancha, but and we've got some wudong that are really nice.
If that's the price, at least with the market price, you are it has to be from Wudong Mountain and with a certain age of the tree. It has to be.
But
otherwise,
then over on YouTube, Yaozi, did I say that right? Yaozi says people who think $40 for 50 grams is too much has probably never heard of Yancha yet, which is also funny. Yeah, everybody knows. Those are some yummy teas.
I don't know Dantong, but that sounds fine.
Yeah, we pretty much got all the.
Okay, you got all.
Comments. Yeah, we're caught up now.
Guanxi is weird. If
could have been storage, yes.
On the wrapper, yeah, it could be.
That could be. So again, I'm glad though. New tool in my toolbox. Like I had forgotten that the Palace grade concept didn't come popular till late 90s. I gotta lock that in.
Yeah, Hecha Holiday totally nailed it.
Yes. Cool.
Yes.
Okay, we're getting there. That was what?
Right.
5 or 6?
Which one?
That was
6. Okay. 7.
7th and I think final. Did you right?
And the plus 1 could be 8. But now it's the 7. Don't read it. There's a little story.
I didn't know. I thought I was.
No, because that story was funny. I copied that from the website.
Okay.
What they said.
That'll be good.
Okay. The title is 1997 老班章 Ancient Tree Pu'er.
97
Mm.
Lao Banzhang Ancient Tree Pu'er.
Just want to mention, because some of you are thinking about the rapper or not rapper. Because the previous few, some of them have the rapper, some of them didn't even show the rapper in the picture, so I don't know. But this one was on the rapper, 1997 老班章 Ancient Tree Pu'er. In Chinese, of course.
97 Ancient
But
Tree.
this is the title.
Lao Banzhang. Lao Banzhang is not a mountain; it's a village.
Mm-hmm.
So but it says Gushu too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Gushu is okay in 97. That's about the time that
Mm-hmm.
start to become interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But what is weird in 97 is Banzhang.
Mm-hmm.
Mountains come around late 90s, 2000s, the famous mountains, Yiwu, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But the village don't come around till 2010. Yeah, I'm super thirsty. I was going to mention that. So I think this one is a no, because Lao Banzhang is not consistent with that date, 1997. Anybody want to throw in? I think Lao Banzhang got big in the 2000s. Yeah, me too. I think it was even later, but I think that's problematic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm focusing on. Same as Hecha Holiday.
Yes.
I think we got it right.
You got it.
Partial answer? Did we miss a little something?
It's not miss. You guys totally got that right.
No, they got it right, but I missed a little something.
Yeah, just something to add in it. It's because I mentioned that this is printed. It's the wrapper, and it's printed in Chinese, and it's 1997. 老班章, 老 means old. 班章 is the village.
Obvious.
So what happened is not suddenly 老班章 village become famous.
Banzhang village.
Banzhang is if they 2000 or something. If
Details.
they say 老班章, that's later. It's because there's a new Banzhang. They try to differentiate the upper one with the lower. Upper one was the older one, the original Banzhang.
Yeah.
Then it becomes so famous, then people start to explore the new Banzhang.
The village grows and it have a new and an old. So basically the trick was that, Old Montreal in early 1900s wasn't called Old Montreal, it was called Montreal. So the label busted itself by calling out.
Oh, that's a really good one. That's a really good example.
And lots of towns have that you got the old part of the village, or like Quebec City. I know all the Canadian ones, but I'm sure there's US ones that have Old Town or this or that. Yeah, Old Town Philadelphia. I think that's what they call it, the sort of historic section. Nobody called it Old Town when they were riding around in horses and buggies, and it was actually Philadelphia, right? So writing Lao Banzhang on the label, that was the giveaway that it was a modern incarnation of that label. It was not the label was not original. Hence the T is probably not original. Good one. Oh, missed that detail. That should have been obvious. Everything on the East Coast has the old part of the village. That's right. Yeah.
East Coast. Oh yeah. This
New York, Philly.
Yes.
All of them. Boston for sure. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking why I'm really having so much trouble with the East and West Coast is because yes. Vis-a-vis, because I'm from the East, just this East Coast with always associated with the warmer, better weather. But Vancouver has that what I think better weather.
Right.
So I always having problems saying that's the West side. So every time I hear that, I need to take a moment and get that right.
Yes, yeah, it's not flipped. We actually are on the same. Our East Coast is the same as Old China.
Yeah,
the weather is different.
In China, you see the West is barren and a little bit harsh weather, and East is slightly nicer.
Right on.
Oh, the story in I read this tea, besides the basic storage origin and stuff, they also have some stories. So what I read, a lot of the Pu'er stories are really funny. And a mix and match, kind of a little bit of something. So this one of the funniest quote from the story says that in 1950s, Laobanzhang tea was selected as the tribute to Chairman Mao Zedong.
Is that? Oh, whoa.
You know, like it's in the story. It's like,
Was he wasn't?
are we
established
writing
by then, was he,
novels?
or-
What?
What's the deal with that? Is that historically like
So
zigzag?
in the context, basically they're trying to say this tea is really pristine and rare and high end
of
and
course.
stuff, right? Then they said in the 1950s, Laobanzhang tea was selected as the tribute to Chairman Mao Zedong. Well, like what we just mentioned, there's no Laobanzhang tea at that time. In the 1950s, it was all like
State, right?
Oh, I need some tea. Just
Yeah, I know I'm dry too. So we're moving into our bonus question. We're gonna let the water boil.
right.
We'll tease it out a little bit here.
Oh,
Let's check for
there's
questions. Hey, Jan, welcome.
Hello.
A little bit over caffeinated. You're a little bit over caffeine, or am I? I am for sure. But no, I'm pretty mellow actually today. Oh, I'm a little bit over caffeinated today, and again, something is happening online here. It's a pity that I am late. Don't worry. It's all going up. But welcome, never too late. And yes, we're just having a little contest, a little fun game. We're down to the final bonus question, question number 8. We're just brewing up a bit more tea. Hecha Holiday says she thought Mao like Fucha. Anyway, can't remember his dates. Going to need some aged tea now. Yes, we're brewing
He's
up.
mostly green tea drinker.
He's a
Most
green
of
tea
us
guy,
are
sure.
green tea drinker.
Yeah.
Only because of Fujian from Hunan, they make a link.
The whole concept of a tribute tea to that kind of government is kind of a brain teaser too. It's like, what? Why would you do that? Aren't you anti that?
A lot. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, we're both over caffeinated. Jan on YouTube is over caffeinated. We are on our way to over caffeinated, having a great time, flying.
Huh? Oh, you gotta use word.
No, I prefer just to move my head and grunt. All right, so we're brewing up an aged Take One Yin. We've been doing aged Pu'er quiz based on the name alone. We've gone through how to figure out just from the name if a tea is a fake or if it might need more information, i.e. tasting. And again, I want to emphasize what Jen said in the beginning. This is not to say don't buy the tea or what an evil shopkeeper they are. Not at all that. This is just to give you guys some tools so you can know what it is you're looking at and what's out there. If the value is good and the taste
and if
is...
you care about real or fake.
Yes,
some
so
people
you
don't
can-
care. It's totally fine.
Yeah, so, and also if you're trying to set your palate to taste the age of tea, it is quite important that you know if it's authentic or not. If
Right.
it's a good value and it tastes good though, knock
But if
yourself
it
out.
tastes moldy, it only means it's moldy. Moldy is not the quote for southern storage.
Right. Yeah, there's a difference between southern. Anyway, that's a good video topic. Actually, we should do a video.
It's hard. Those
It's
are
really- it's
usually
really
we
tasting.
usually do that in our seminars
Tasting
because
session.
it's the tasting, so we can show you the difference and stuff. On the camera, it's like our description.
Right.
But how
which
people
is,
describe how we brew that really affects.
yeah, it's so not yeah. Those are the seminar kind of topics. That's true.
Okay. Oh, I feel like I talk so much today.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, last one. 1973, yellow mark, CNMP,
Stick.
7542, raw cake. So 1973 is the
The vintage.
year.
The year.
Yeah, the vintage. Yellow mark is okay. CNMP is the China's like the state making the
State
central
brand.
yeah
Yeah,
stamp
you've all seen the
brand.
green symbol
Yes.
with the red circle around it or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yellow mark refers to the little cha symbol in the middle, which color it is. 7542 is the code for the recipe is used to make the tea. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So this is a 73. Okay. So it's a raw cake. 73.
73.
Heisha Holiday asked 75 or 73. 73 is the answer that was written on it.
Yes.
Yellow mark CNNP 7542. So I'm familiar with the recipe 7542.
It's quite famous recipe.
Yes, and it was a, I'm trying to remember if it was a brand recipe or if it was, I think it was a CNNP recipe. I think that's okay, but I'm not sure. I'm a little weak here because my cramming notes didn't cover this basically. Everything related to my notes I nailed. Yellow mark.
Wrong date.
Okay, so what you're saying, I think, is made in 75. So I guess, is that the yellow mark that you're saying was tied to 1975? This is good. I didn't pick that up. Anybody on YouTube too? You're welcome to throw out, like, it's not, I'm leaning on you guys for help. So Heisha Holiday is throwing in. I think you're looking at the recipe. That's right. The recipe contains the year of the origin of the recipe, not to be mistaken with the year of the tea. So the recipe itself is calling out that the recipe was invented in 1975 by the first two digits, 75, I think. I might be mixed up because a lot of people mix this up, and I might be mixing it up right now. But I'm gonna go with your tip, Heisha Holiday. And I'm going to say that, and again, like lots of people get a 1980s 7542. That's possible, but a 70, I'm going to go with that. The 73 7542 is impossible. That's I'm going to lock it in. Anybody on YouTube want to throw out? There's some good, no. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to go with that because I'm lost on this one, honestly. There's all those yellow mark. So this is what happens when you get a name, right? Is you get all this blah, blah, blah. And it can be like, for me, I'm deer in the headlights. Yellow mark, what is that? CNNP, oh my gosh, I know what that is, but what is yellow mark? And okay, so that's our answer. 75 was the year of that recipe's invention, and it's a 73 cake. That's a little bit wonky. Do we have it?
You have it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way to go, Heisha Holiday.
So the four digits, 7542. 75 is usually the year, not the year of the tea. I noticed some people put on websites say, oh, that means the year of the tea. No,
that's 100%.
4, does that mean the fourth grade of the leaf? Not really. I also noticed some people say, oh, the fourth means the fourth grade of the leaf, in which case that whole recipe is decoded. No, this whole thing just implies their recipe. This 4 is in their system, how they did the combination and stuff.
Right. Because there's some secrecy around the recipe.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of and of course there's also changes. A lot of times, if you see the original recipe vis-a-vis now the 7542, you will see the difference as well. Yeah. So that's more advanced, so that we need to see the leaves. The reason I also put this one is this one, even though like if you don't know much, so the next level, this is the first level of differentiate fake or real, possible real, is to look at the title, right? If there is any discrepancy between what it claims and what it could possible, the fact, right? So the next level is you look at the leaves. Actually, if you combine these two, you can rule out almost 99.99% of those antique pu'ers you will see. A lot of these, I see them like, I don't even need to see the real cakes. Their picture is just so fake. So this one is another one. So a lot of people think, two things I want to mention in this one is the CNNP, yellow mark, green mark, red mark, as if that means anything. That doesn't mean anything. As a tea retailer, early times tea retailer, we all have those wraps. If we want, we can wrap on anything and claim that, okay, we have stocks of those wraps.
Oh.
It doesn't mean for sure. It's not like an insurance that this must come from the state or something. It could be like later on wrapped on. And, some wraps looks really like damaged or stuff. Means nothing. Right. Means nothing. Yellow mark. Oh, and this one, they showed a picture of the inside. And yellow mark with the 内飞. The 内飞 is wrong. Sometimes they put the more information, the more mistakes. The more damning it is. For especially if you know more about the basic knowledge of what it is. So the neife was wrong and the leaf was wrong, because 7542, the recipe means some certain standard. People don't understand. They feel like, oh, that just means raw cake, but there's some certain standard. That one has lots of stems and stuff. 7542, and there, in terms of how pu'er old times get pressed, how do they make that? There's a certain protocols, right? Inside what material outside. Like, if you know more about it, if dive in more, knowing more, you will see how, if you look at the leaves and the pictures that they provided, that doesn't follow the protocol. What would make
so specific that they would the cake wouldn't just be take a pile of leaf and smush it. They actually.
If you work with government and stuff, you will know they have a menu. You do this. Everything is pretty.
It's like a product line.
Yeah, it's a very strict.
An assembly line.
Yeah, it might be boring in terms of the marketing today. We like to give them fancy names, and they only name them first grade, second grade, third grade. But there's a standard, and you follow that standard. They are really tight, and you can't expect something. That's what they do, right? Even with expert in tea, otherwise they get in trouble.
Right.
So, and everything was the chances of having lots of mistakes. So this is a real tea because it was a mistake. No, because there's a responsibility in it too.
Right. Would have probably been removed from production or sent back or destroyed or something. So H. Holiday says,
we only have 16 seconds left on Instagram.
Oh, anyway, she said she had a 2003 CNMP that was a fake, but it was very good, which is exactly right. So anyway, Instagram, we're getting kicked off in 5 seconds. So you guys have a great day. We will see you next time.
See you next time, Instagram.
Bye-bye. Good one. I didn't notice that at all.
That always pops up. And
yeah, I like that. It's handy, but very.
I had an oversteep.
We got a social media oversteep right here. Look at that color. It looks like yancha.
Let me do another.
You want to put a flash into it?
Yeah.
So just show you our oversteep because we were having a little chit chat. So YouTube, we hang out with you guys a little extra as always. We should say that at the beginning of our video for Instagram people. Instagram people, if you want to hang out, join us on YouTube because you're going to get kicked out in 1 hour. And
we are getting kicked out, not them.
We talk a lot. Yeah, we get disconnected.
Right.
Haha, switched from IG to here.
Oh,
hey, welcome back, Eric. Cool, good to see you back. So that was that's really that's the next area I have to dive into is those.
Look at the leaves and pick out those obvious ones.
Yeah, and that would be a fun, that's a good one. That's what I gotta bone up.
I got really nervous too. Don't know why.
All right, so we'll finish up our tea and then we'll wrap up with our YouTube friends. Eric, I have you guys connected because the tea sleuth. Good to know. That's the same guy, different handle, same dude. Awesome.
There's some comments we missed, I think.
Yeah, let's go back. There was a little chit chat between Forgotten Brew and Jan. So let's.
Right.
I guess they can all read it now, though.
Something that calms the heartbeat. I found eating calms my heartbeat.
What does?
Eating.
Oh,
when I have those caffeine situations, I would agree that taste matters. I bought a Lao Banzhang break for $40. I knew it was not a gushu, but the review were high. Some of the best tea I've ever tasted, but technically it was a fake. Yeah, we think it's totally fine. Just for us, it's to have the understanding is not fake, but nothing wrong with buying it, drinking it.
Absolutely,
if it's taste, you like the taste, what's wrong with that?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. The only thing, it's just so that you can keep your taste baseline, so okay, when you're tasting certain age, what to expect. Because
when we do the age pu'er sessions, and yes, I see those. We see those backing stock notification, the request notifications. On those pu'er sessions, and we will try to put out more in the future. But in the past experience, is a lot of people try those fake teas where they actually encounter a real teas. They're like, oh, that's not as old as I thought. Because a
Right.
lot of aged flavor was this moldy, dusty. It seems like to them
Or-
that you
or
have
s-
to have those.
Or straight
Otherwise,
up Pu'er.
or straight up Pu'er. So
Mm.
when they see a 90s tea that is not dark red, they're like, oh, that seems very young.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, I have less experience with aged Rockware, so I
Right.
think mostly I will be listening.
Which is always
Cool.
fine. Always
Yes,
fine.
yes.
And then Eric switched in.
Switched.
And
Okay.
and Nicole, we laugh about the oversteep. You do that all the time. He says he does it all the time, but it's usually deliberate. Yeah.
Ah,
We do that too sometimes as a smackdown at the end of a session. We'll do like
Yeah.
a super long steep, or if we're doing a quick evaluation, maybe the third or fourth, depending on what the tea type is, we'll do an on-purpose smackdown just to pull out every little bit of flavor. And Joseph Burton says, I really like the Andy Warhol shirt. Thanks.
Thank
We
you.
actually have a black one too with a different, that's a skull print, right? The skull.
Yeah.
A little bit more badass, although knives are not particularly good ass, if that's a thing. I've never seen the knives print in pink before. Me neither, but I love pink. Look at that. So yeah, so thank you guys for joining. I think we're gonna wrap up.
Mhm.
We're still sipping some tea, so if there's any other questions or last minute stuff you want to cover, we're here for you.
Mhm.
But if not,
Yeah. If you're interested in those, be sure to check out the China magazine, especially the Pu'er part. And I forgot to mention, as talking about Mingqian, if you are into green tea and wondering if like all those concepts about Mingqian, we also have an article covering that to dive into more of the industry fact about Mingqian, because a lot of times people take that as like a
quality indicator.
quality indicator or something like. So we explain a little bit more in detail in the magazine. So if you are interested.
Oh, this is great news.
Ooh.
Brandon says there's a big Warhol exhibition coming to the AGO in Toronto in 2021.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, we'll be there.
Yeah,
I have a feeling. She's more into that, but I love going with her. AGO though, I don't know the AGO. Do you know what that means?
I think I went there by accident.
Art
Was
Gallery
that
of
the one-
Ontario, probably.
Yeah, was that the one close to Chinatown? Like that way?
You mean
That
one
way.
close to? There's one pretty close to the library. I think there's an art gallery close to the reference library where we do the Toronto Tea Festival. Art Gallery of Ontario. I guessed it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely look that
We'll
up.
definitely be looking into that.
Mm.
And I think that's it. I think we're going to sign off, guys. It looks like the weather in Ottawa and hopefully Toronto and Peterborough, where there's a few of you guys listening, is also still sunny, although it's really cold and it was snowing here this morning. Yes, you heard me right, snowing. But hopefully we can get out and soak up some of those rays. Hopefully it's warming up a bit.
Yeah.
And
I want 20s.
yeah, I want to hit some 20s at least. I know some of our viewers are down in the southern states are getting into the 30s already. Woo, jealous. I know they're a little bit more the opposite of us. They're like kind of dreading their summer. But we could use a little bit of that heat.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, I hope you found this session informative. Add a few little tricks to your toolbox. And until next time,
keep
steeping.
steeping.
Nailed it.
Oh, yeah. Finally.
See you guys.
See you. Bye-bye.